Welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining me. It's March 16th, 2025. It is also Sunday. We are also looking forward to Fed Week, and the major market movers for this week going forward is Fed cuts versus war. We'll go over that in a bit. This is the second run of this because the first one was the silent version with no sound. So my apologies for that, but we'll go through quite a few things that we're going to be looking forward in this week. Now, first thing I would like to mention is this Voice of America. That's part of a U.S. Agency for Global Media, or USAGM. Now, this also runs networks like Radio Free Europe, Radio Free Asia, as well as Middle East broadcasting networks. Now, why am I mentioning this? This is because one of the largest exports from the United States is propaganda, and this is a well-funded by taxpayers propaganda version. Now, there's a lot of argument saying that if this is pulled out, that other medias will be taking the place, if you will, meaning there will be a lot more propaganda from unfriendly companies. But let me know what you think about that in the comments. With this, let's go into what's coming forward for the drivers this week. Now, on this calendar, Monday is holiday. It is St. Patrick's Day. So hopefully that means that a lot of green will be coming your way. But we're looking at retail sales, also Empire State Manufacturing, and business inventories with home builder confidence. Now, I like these reports, even though they're less affecting, they also tend to be less manipulated, if you will. So we can get a little bit of a view into the real economy that is going on now through these. Now, Tuesday, getting more housing and building, import pricing, which will be very key in seeing if these tariffs are beginning to take some effect. We've got Wednesday is the large one everyone is anticipating, and that is the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee interest rate decision. Now, the markets don't typically move too much on that unless it's a very unexpected decision, but they do move when Fed Chair Powell speaks at 2:30 in the afternoon. So watching that forward, that is probably one of the main movers that we've got on the calendar and are aware of for this week. Now, Thursday, jobless claims again, Philadelphia manufacturing, and the Friday, really nothing, kind of quiet there. But what we're looking as far as drivers, as I've said before, this is a massive headline driven market. We've got a lot of war and new things going on. I'll go over in a moment to be watching for. Now, the market did pick up last Friday as we were talking about bouncing off that quite a good correction there, as the market has not had in a long time. Still an extreme fear, but it did pull up from that. Now, with what's going on this weekend, I don't know that this will continue for Monday, so my plans are to stay out of this, kind of sit on my hands until we see what the market brings us and not try to play the hero, so to speak. Now, we've got Klarna, is company filing for a long-awaited US IPO, initial public offering. They're going public. And the reason I think this one is going to be large, couple of them. First off, this buy now, pay later company. So it's going to give a view into the credit, if you will, or otherwise known as debt, and seeing how this company does going forward. The real economy, as you know, right now is kind of resembling this dumpster fire and heading down. Now, we did good consumer sentiment last week. It was weak as expected. In sentiment just downturning because the economy is not good at all right now. Now, this consumer sentiment plunge, they're saying is on trade war fears, but that's not the whole story. It's on inflation and everything else going on around it that these economists seem to be ignoring. Now, we had Trump propose quite a few things that are also moving things. Tariff-free trade for Canada in exchange for statehood. Now, this is as they were blasting them mainly with tariffs on metal, which probably hurt the worst because this is paired also with massive tariffs on Canada from China, also for their aluminum and steel. So with this, that really hit them with a double blow. We've got Bitcoin, as they're saying, sliding below 80,000, but as this came out, it's already back up above 83,000 and trying the 84,000 level resistance again. We'll see where it goes from there. So, a couple of backdrops for that. First off, BlackRock now disclosing they own over 567,000 Bitcoin at this massive holding. And if you think that they're going to let their investment drop too much, other than to purchase more at an inexpensive price, then you don't know much about BlackRock. We've got growth in Bitcoin and stablecoin adoption, saying that this could accelerate de-dollarization. Now, I bring this up for two important reasons. First off, we're moving to stable coins. That is going to be the new CBDC. It's just going to be called something else. Secondly, the dollar is getting massively crushed over everything going on right now. There is a move away from it. And this is not just a drop in relative strength of the dollar, but the bonds, as I was speaking about last week, are also moving with it. So these paired with some other signals are showing that the dollar is showing intense weakness and needs some serious help. It's about to go onto life support, but this could be by design. In fact, all of it is by design, but it could be by design at this time to shift over to the stable coins. We'll see when that timing is. It's only a question of when, not if. So I would also like to bring up it's not necessarily cryptocurrency, but China unveiling a processor they are claiming is a million times faster than United States rival. Now they're talking about Google's 16Mar chip. This is for artificial intelligence. They're talking about quantum computing. So pairing the two together, this could be major mover. Want to keep my eye on this one if they are indeed correct about this. Now, none of the quantum computers, to be clear, are able to work uh, consistently now. They've all got serious issues, some of them with overheating and some other things, but they are not up to speed, if you will, pardon the pun, at the moment. But if they stabilize, this could go moving forward. Now, I'm still estimating that they're at least not until next year, but at the rapid pace, could be as they're throwing security out the window. Now, Hungary's Orban. He's been a long proponent of this for some time and an outlier of the EU. He's calling to expel Soros agents. And by this, what I mean is he is urging Brussels again to protect national interests in member states. And what he's calling against are massive moves by foreign paid agents that are lobbying within the uh, politicians and the elections, so to speak, as well as the issues. Now, this has been going on for a long time, but him calling it to the surface is kind of a nice thing to see so that this is a little bit more awareness. Now, we've got on the physical war fronts, the UK ready to deploy 10,000 troops. They're talking about under the guise of a peacekeeping mission. Now, I don't know on the ground how ready the UK troops feel about this, of going over there for peacekeeping missions. Macron from France is also talking about how Russia has no say in peacekeeper missions. And actually, they kind of do, but that's his take on it. Now, going back to Canada, we've got the unelected Prime Minister giving orders to change a massive F 35 defense procurement contract. Now, this is with the trade war tensions with the United States. In short, they want to purchase their F 35s from another country. A lot of them are concerned, rightly so, about a kill switch embedded into the weaponry. But this is a move to kind of cripple the weaponry and larger defense contractors. And I say good luck to that because that's not actually going to happen. And also, you get what you pay for because the technology that are purchased from the United States is vastly different, even though the surface label on the product is similar. So just keeping an eye on that. Defense contractor is going to be large in the news coming forward. We've got General Dynamics is one of these, massive weapons contractor boosting partnership with Amazon Web Services, AWS, driving quantum computing and artificial intelligence for the United States government. This is a warning. They are also looking at pushing forward what they're calling cybersecurity for US government agencies. And in a collaboration, they're saying is to enhance defense, intelligence, and civilian sectors with cutting edge technologies using quantum computing. Now, I've been warning about this for some time. This is not really a good thing going forward. There are a lot of issues with this. Another company I've been warning about, which is directly related, is Palantir. Now, going forward with the fiscal wars, if you haven't heard yet, which you ought to have, Trump has ordered strikes on Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen and issuing a new warning. Now, they carried out these airstrikes, first ones in months. Now, with this, they did have a couple of specific targets. There was some collateral damage, but the head of the Islamic State uh, in Iraq and Syria has been killed. This is confirmed by Iraqi Prime Minister. So it's not just touting by the United States, but they have taken out one of their major targets. Now, with this, we've got also the Ukraine, Russia are supposed to be having peace talks this week, which is also a potential market mover. However, we've got Ukraine still deploying long Neptune cruise missiles, striking Russian targets, and also threatening with a long-range missile they have ready, saying that it is capable and ready to strike Moscow. Now, obviously, these are not very peace-worthy talks that they are speaking about. So, with this, I'd like to speak about one other thing. This is, will $1 million US last in retirement? Now, to start off with, I'm old enough to remember when $1 million was actually worth something and you could consider retiring as a millionaire. But in this hyperinflationary environment, even though they're not calling it, it is. $1 million will not last for the type of living. It all depends on the standard of living. If you want to maintain anything, this will continue. This is going to be the defense contractors getting all of their weaponry, massive government spending that will continue. And all of this is taking away from the strength of the dollar as this happens with this global shift. You have to look at alternatives, please. That means precious metals, gold, silver, physical holdings, other assets outside of the US dollar because it is being inflated away. And as it does, they're stealing from your future, your children's future, your grandchildren's future. Do not expect this to slow. So if you've got a stash of cash and that's what you expect to use, urge you to diversify. Look at precious metals, not financial advice. Please find this out for yourself so that you see what I'm actually talking about. And with all of this, I wish you a green Monday. It is St. Patrick's Day, and I'll be there for you in the morning. And until I see you again, my friends, stay free.